Shalom Shabbat.
Shalom Shabbat.
In chapter 2 of First Kings, we have David handing over the reign of his kingdom to his son Solomon. I'll start from verse 1 to verse 3. Now the days of David drew near that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be strong, therefore, and prove yourself a man, and keep the charge of Yahweh your powers, to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes, his commandments, his judgments, and his witnesses, as it is written in the Torah of Moses, that you may prosper in all that you do and wherever you turn. Okay? The Hebrew says in verse 2, which is the highlighted verse, because of this prolonged query that people seem to not come to a definite conclusion of about a man. And so here, David says, I go the way of all the earth. Be strong, therefore, and prove yourself a man. But the Hebrew says, I am going in the way of all the earth, true, where chazakta, where hayita, leish. So, first part is correct. I go the way of all the earth, where chazakta is, and you be, or you will be courageous, or you will hold strongly, you will be strong and firm, you will be courageous, and you will become towards a man, leish, and you will become towards a man. So the translation, they say, be strong therefore and prove yourself a man. Hebrew says, I go the way of all the earth, son Solomon, and you be courageous. Be strong and firm, be pressing and prevailing, and you will become toward Ish, toward a man. So this brought to my attention about being a man. What is the Hebraic understanding of and the investment with responsibility of and to a man? Because in our days, in this present generation, there seems to be a lot of confusion about a man. What is a man? Who is he to be when you understand the characteristics and traits of a man, and what is he responsible to and for? So David told that to his son Solomon. This is how you become towards a man. The word is ish, which is Alef, Yod, Shin, and the functional traits of that word for man is to withstand, to exist, a man with proven character, and also a woman complementing man. That says something about a man who is covering women, a man who has a covenant partner or is in covenant relationships with women. They should eventually complement him. They too should become ish, away from isha. There's uploads on those verb roots, okay? So today I just want to go over 8 different character traits or personality traits of a man. The number 8, the Hebrew word, is shaman, shin, mem, nun, and the function of that word shaman, which is 8, has to do with nourish, being healthy, abundance, and they say that it is the number also for a new foundation. Okay, so there are 8 verb roots that I want to go over quickly so that we can have a full spectrum, a circumspect understanding of the Creator's intention for what a man should reflect in the earth. Okay, the first, we'll do them in alphabetical order. The first introduction to this man is Adam, the verb root Adam. Who is Adam? Who was Adam? So that's the word for man, mankind. It is Adam, Alef, Dalet, final mem. The function of that verb root is being earthly and solid, rich in minerals, pure man. And it also means ground. The Hebrew word for ground is Adamah. Hence, he who was created from the ground, Adamah, was called Adam, reflecting the makeup of him. Earthly, solid, rich in minerals, ground, earth, given to man. So what Adam was made from, he was also responsible for. We are responsible for the earth. Psalm says, the heavens belong to Yahweh, but the earth he has given to the sons of man. What are we doing with the earth? Have we bequeathed it to those who disregard its purpose toward us? So Adam, also reddish. So being melanated, Adam, the first man. The definition of the word automatically lets you know that if man made it, don't eat it. The periodic chart is within our makeup. We are rich in minerals. We are ground because we're made from it. We are earthly. So creation provides all that we need to live long, healthy lives without any negative consequences or side effects. Amen. The second in the alphabetical order of character traits of man is Ish. Ish. Alef, Yod, Shin. The function of that verb root is for another facet of a man, which means man, they translate as man, is to withstand, to exist. A man of proven character, and a woman complementing man, which we talked about earlier. The women that he relate to, and especially if he gets in covenant relationships with them, they will soon begin to take on his character traits and begin to complement him. The next Hebrew verb that is a character trait for man is Alef. Alef, which is the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Alef, number 1. Alef, Lamed, final pay. It means to receive from others, to lack independence. It also means teaching and learning. A leader whose followers lack independence. A guide, a mentor. A husband. A man will soon become a husband. And it is also the word for the number 1,000. Scripture says one will become 1,000. Scripture says one can put 1,000 to flight, right? And it also means a friend. So this word here, Alef, very interesting, because in our generation, the world talks about an alpha male. Bump an alpha male. I don't want to be an alpha male. I want to be an Alef male. Because an Alef male, which the world has not seen too much of, he's a leader whose followers lack independence. Where does that begin? That begins in the home. An Alef is a husband, a guide, a mentor, a teacher, and he's also willing to learn, right? A husband has a woman who bears his children, and his Nikeva, his woman and his children, they lack independence from him. A leader whose followers lack independence. And he is their guide. He is their mentor. He is also their friend. And he is their teacher. And he is able to receive from others. He does have a lot of pride where he lifts himself up above those who lack independence from him. So this should be magnified in a home through the father of that home, Alef. Awesome, I love that. Oh, and by the way, the qualification in the scriptures for shepherding Yahweh's people is not a seminary, university, or college degree in theology. It is being successful in the home, a faithful father, a husband who is a functional parent. You know, I'm translating the New Covenant, and in Matthew chapter 7, verse 28, the end of his introducing them to principles to live by, lecturing on the Beatitudes, the attitude that should be in you. It says, and so it was when Yeshua had ended these sayings that the people were astonished at his teaching, because they say he taught them as a parent and one having dominion, and not as the scribes. That they did not translate in your translation. They left that out. And the scripture says, do not add to or take away from the words of this book. And so in my translation, back translation to the Hebrew, it was profound. What separated Yeshua from the scribes and Pharisees' teachings was he taught them as a parent and one having dominion, and not as the scribes. And so a true father teaches his children. They lack independence of him. He's their guide, their mentor. He's their friend. And remember when Paul says, although you have many teachers, you don't have many fathers? Because if you have a true father who produced you, loves you, and will teach you, guide you, model for you the way of life and purpose, and will also discipline you and chasten you so that you don't fall prey to that which will destroy you in the end. Amen? Alef, potent, powerful trait of a man. So I want to be, and my boys and those who wish to be developed in this house or influenced, we want to be Alef males away from the present culture of alpha males. Amen. Okay, and the next character trait for a man is Enosh in the alphabetical order. Enosh, Aleph, Nun, Shin. The function of that verb root is to cause weakness, to be frail, being ill, being fatal, suffering, self-centered people, troubled state of mankind. That is the word that they translate as men in the scriptures. Enosh. Enosh. And that is the state of men today. Men are in a troubled state. They're self-centered. They're suffering. They're constantly making decisions that leads them to fatality. They're ill, frail, and weak. And that is the state of man today. So we need Aleph males. We need Ish males. We need Adam, pure man, who is earthly and solid, rich in minerals. So that was Enosh. The next character trait of a man in the alphabetical chart is Bachar. Bachar. Bet, Chet, Resh. And that is a chosen soldier. The best. To choose. Bachar also means to choose, but it is sometimes translated for a young man, a youth. And you see, today, it was always the way the young men, they would leave their homes and become soldiers in the army to protect the nation. And the best would be chosen, the chosen soldier. You have to be faithful as a soldier before you can become a warrior, which is the next character trait of a man, male. So, Bachar, a chosen soldier, the best, a youth. And then the next word, character trait in the alphabetical order is Gibor. Gibor. Gimel, Bet, Resh. The function of that verb root is to overpower, control through physical strength, always developing and increasing. A man who is always being victorious and always gives strong effort. A Gibor. That is the verb root for the messenger of Yahweh, the angel Gabriel. That's the verb root of his name. Gabar El. Gibor El. Gabriel, right? Being victorious of power. That's what Gabriel means. Being victorious of power. There's two types of males. Okay, let me go to the next one so that I can refer back to Gibor. The next character trait of a man is Zakar. Zakar. That is the word for male. Yahweh said, I will make man in his image, male and female, he created them. So male, the verb root is Zakar. Zayin, Kaf, Resh. The function of that verb root is to store in memory, remembering, to redeem, remembering to redeem. A male, bearer of tradition, also an historian, So the male, right? He is the one to bear the tradition of man's existence and transfer it to his sons. And they in kind will do it to their sons, and so on, to generations following. So he's to store in his memory purpose by which he was created and transfer it to his sons, the traditions, the historian. So we look back and see where we got off track in fulfilling our purpose as man. And the trait of Zakar, of a male, is to remember to redeem. We are constantly righting wrongs to redeem situations and individuals and families. And there are two types of male, either an Enosh or a Gibor. There's only two types of male. Either he's a weak, frail, ill, self-centered, or he's a Gibor, being victorious and overpower and control through physical strength and always developing and increasing. That's who Yahweh makes his sons into. We come to him as Enosh, and he makes us into Gibor. Amen? And we function as Alef, Ish, Adam, and Bachar, right? And then the last character trait of Adam, Ish, Alef, Bachar, Gibor, and Zakar is Zakain. Zayin, Kof, final noon. The function of that verb root is to being elderly and wise, having attributes of an elder, experience that brings wisdom. Because if you stay faithful to Yahweh and function as a man, like David told his son Solomon, son, I'm going the way of all the earth. Be strong and courageous, and you'll become to a man. You'll become toward Ish, be able to withstand and continue to exist and be a man of proven character, and all your women will compliment you. And that will bring you longevity, and you will reach elderly status and have the attributes of such. You'll have the experience that brings wisdom to lead the next generation or generations in the same pathway to victory and success as men of Yahweh, men of El Shaddai, men of powers. Amen? Yahweh reigns.